Okay, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Live from the Sword Coast podcast. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly dungeon master this evening. Tonight, we are going to be continuing to play the wonderful Modifius Games published Conan, Adventures in an Age Undreamed Of. And with me tonight is Jeffrey, one of the regular fixtures of the podcast.
Hey, everybody.
So tonight, we are going to be playing a... I guess as a back story to this, I have, for those who are not familiar with the channel, one of the things I like to do in the role-playing games I run is when we have opportunities where, you know, like tonight where we're missing 4 out of the 5 players who are in this campaign, then what I'd like to do is to take the opportunity to sometimes run war stories, which are just stories set at different times, sometimes featuring different characters. Tonight's session features Sir Quintus, Jeff's character, who is a Nemedian Noble Warrior, and this takes place before the before he was found in the Red Pit, which was the first adventure we played. So let me swap over the screen. So we've got Roll20 active here. Boom. Share. Yep. That's good. Okay. And let me set that up. There we go. Okay. Maybe I shall kill that music, or I'll turn it down again. So, one thing one rule thing I wanted to quickly clarify to Jeff that I did with the other guys last session. I was doing the momentum pool wrong last time. So when you have momentum in the momentum pool, you can choose to use that for, you can't buy a success with it, but you can do it for anything else you can use momentum for. So if you were sitting on like 5 momentum in the momentum pool, and then you hit someone with your sword, you could dump all 5 into just +5 damage if you wanted to. Or for anything else. So like the momentum pool is much more flexible than I was running it to be in that first session. Ooh. Oh. Okay, sweetie. Emmy's shocked that I got that wrong. Let me just grab. I think I've got a. Where is it here? I've got a momentum. There we go. Momentum tokens, and maybe I'll. It's a way of tracking momentum and doom, and maybe I'll just paste those suckers in here. Boom. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so currently, because there's only one player tonight, I'm starting with 3 Doom, and Jeff, you'll be starting with 4 Fortune points, because that was pretty funny. I got up pretty early this morning, and I saw that email to Brent saying. So
you must have just missed that you said that.
Yeah,
that's typical Brent to not read things properly.
That's. Well, you read the parts that were most favorable to him, so.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so tonight's adventure is called The Devils in the Woods. And where our scene opens is with, we see 2 figures riding along on horseback through this fairly narrow trail in this like almost completely overgrown mountainous pass. The picture I've got there, or the 2 pictures I've got there of the massive sweeping snow-capped mountains and the carpet of evergreen trees beneath it. And then the second picture of just the sweeping evergreen trees above you. That is what we see, is these 2 trotting along. It's not wintertime, so there's not snow on the trees. But it is, you know, there is the constant sway of them all together as if they were like reeds in a pond, as the mountain wind sort of bears down on them. One of the figures is riding a fairly big warhorse, like a Nemedian destrier, and he is clad in, I believe it's chainmail armor, and he has a sword at his side and a shield on his horse's saddle. And what is the symbol that we see on his shield, Jeff?
Oops. Let's see, what does shield be? So, is he?
At this time,
religious? Is he religious?
Yeah. Well, he was raised, I think, in a kind of religious context, right?
That's the thing. Yeah, that's right. He was a member. Well, he was brought in by the priesthood.
Yeah. So, the priesthood in Nemedia would be the priests of Mitra, or the cult of Mitra. Mitra.
What is Mitra's symbol? Or does Mitra have a weapon that he uses?
Actually, so the symbol that is on your card, the phoenix.
Yeah.
That is one of Mitra's symbols.
Okay, then that's what he would have. So he would have a beautiful red and gold phoenix on his shield.
Okay, cool. So he's riding. So that's what we see on him, and there's maybe some complementing colors on the barding on the horse, and riding next to him is a man dressed in traveling garb underneath. He is probably in his early 50s, but he looks like he's a fairly healthy and capable. He's the wind-burned readiness on his skin suggests that this is a guy who spends a lot of time outside. But the satchel of scrolls and the symbol of Mitra hanging from his neck suggests that this is someone of either learning or someone who is of the priesthood. And someone making that assumption would, in fact, be correct, because this is Brother Castus. Brother Castus is a priest of Mitra who is riding along with Brother Sir Quintus. Now, at this point in his life, and this I don't necessarily know where, like what age he's at or whatnot right now, but what do you think Sir Quintus? Well, actually, let me rephrase that. Do you think Sir Quintus has always been with part of the church until the events immediately before the Red Pit, or was he a freelance at some point?
No, I think he was with the church the whole time. The Red Pit was his first break from that life.
Okay, well, it would have been
was captured into, and then
Okay. So I'll have to go back and listen, because I know you gave a good backstory for how sort of like what the events were that led to that. I just don't remember it offhand. But okay, so where you were riding is sorry, I need to write one thing down here. Okay, so the where you are is you have been basically seconded to Brother Castus, and you are currently in the northwestern area of Nemedia. Nemedia is sort of separated from Aquilonia. Aquilonia is to the west. Aquilonia is the only kingdom that really gives Nemedia any kind of challenge for being the most grand, the most educated, the most wealthy, the most sophisticated, and the most powerful kingdom in the Dreaming West. Between the two nations, though, or kingdoms, is a massive spine of mountains that are called the Nemedian Mountains. Nemedia is the older kingdom, so it got a chance to name them first, I guess. To the north of that, just as sort of where the tip is, that goes around the northern tip of the Nemedian Mountains, there is another kingdom. Well, it's called a kingdom. It's called the Border Kingdom, but really what it is just like it's a no man's land of like various warlords or petty kings or whatnot. There's no real central authority there. It's not really a kingdom, and it's also sort of the border between where like Hyperborea and I believe Asgard. Hold on, let me take a look at a map. It borders on a lot of the more savage lands, like Hyperborea and Cimmeria. So it is subject to bandit raids, to all sorts of dangerous threats that basically makes it a very unstable and an unpredictable kind of place. It also means that it can serve as a bit of a threat. I mean, sometimes like bandits can hide in the border kingdoms really without any kind of consequence, so long as they either have the support of or they're more powerful than the local lord. So what Sir Castus is doing is he's out on a pilgrimage to sort of reaffirm the faith in or the cult of Mitra amongst the sort of some of the border settlements. And you've been traveling with him for a while now to do this. It's probably a couple of months that you've been sort of poking along and seeing what is up here. You are his effectively his bodyguard.
Okay.
Okay. So Sir Castus, oh, you know what? Let me because I really like this.
Are we similar age?
No, I think you're much younger, way younger.
Okay.
He's in his early 50s.
Okay, yeah, I'm much younger.
Yeah, so let's roll something here.
I'm going to say that, unless you really care about this part of it, I'm going to say that Brother Castus isn't someone that I'm most fond of. In fact, I was sort of assigned to this mission as punishment for something I had done. I had just pissed off my, superior knight, and he had sent me on this mission with Brother Castus.
Yep, that's perfect. So here's the characteristic. Brother Castus he's quite devout. He is a firm believer in Mitra. He's pretty well educated as well, but he's got an unnerving characteristic whereby he really seeks. He feels that maintaining eye contact is an important thing. So he will do it. He'll seek eye contact and try and hold it for a really uncomfortable length of time.
Mm.
So which makes it really a damn thing to try and lie to him or whatever else, because he just has this unnerving kind of intensity to him as well. I picture him having kind of like relatively short cropped hair, just because that's probably easier to travel with. And he's got a bit of a chin strap beard, but he's got a thick, kind of fire plug neck. He's not, in his youth, he probably was a fairly capable guy. If not, he's not huge, but he's fairly stocky. It's just that age has taken its toll on him and whatnot. So he's riding along on a smaller riding horse next to your massive destrier. Now, where you're heading is the next destination you're heading towards, a place called Pine Summit. And Pine Summit is supposed to be a village of approximately maybe between 150 and 200 souls. It's just him checking in to see if, basically to sort of make some FaceTime. Why don't you, let's get some dice rolling here. Why don't you make a lore check for me, please?
Okay. Lore.
Yeah, and just as a reminder, you're starting with 2d20 for your dice roll, and you can always give me extra doom to
right.
get extra.
I don't think I will just on the lore check here.
Okay.
So I have expertise and focus of 2 and a target number of 12.
Yep.
I rolled a 14 and a 17.
Okay. So you don't know. This is just yet another it was another sort of roadside town.
Yeah, geography was not something that I ever studied when I was young. So
yeah. Okay. Do you think that is Sir Quintus chatty?
I think he is normally, but maybe not with Brother Castus very much.
Okay.
Brother Castus is very he's kind of you're a stubborn old guy, and Sir Quintus, from his backstory, if you remember, he had access to books from his father and his grandfather, so his knowledge and learning is something he's into, and so sometimes he'll talk about things that he's seen or read about, and then Brother Castus will be like, "No, that's nonsense, boy." Like he won't. Even though like Sir Quintus believes it, he really gets shut down by him. So that's sort of why he dislikes him.
Okay, I love that, and that's totally that's totally how I picture Brother Castus.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you guys are riding along, and so you see yourself as you're expected to get there. It's about maybe mid-afternoon, and you're expected to get to Pine Summit well before nightfall. But as you're riding along, you see there's a bit of a clearing coming up ahead, which is unusual for here. You're sort of almost on it right away. And then in that clearing, there is and the clearing is only about, it's maybe large enough for you to ride your two horses in, and one of you to stand in the clearing. It's not a huge area. It's quite, it's quite overgrown. These big trees towering over it. What you see in there is a small stone edifice, and the edifice has not edifice. It's a small, like basically a roadside shrine. It's effectively like there's a little flat part for where the offerings can be made. It's a single pillar that's only about maybe 2 feet wide by about maybe 3 feet deep. And then there's a bit of a backstop for it as well, too, facing out. And it's the kind of thing you see along the road in 100 times before in the course of your travels. This is a shrine to Mitra, to effectively the state church or the church of the kingdom.
Right.
But this one's a little different from the ones that you've seen because it has been almost demolished. The ones that you would normally look at, or that you would normally see, have carved onto their face the solemn, benevolent, bearded form of Mitra, usually sitting with one hand kind of out and one hand up, and sitting on some kind of, throne. This has been utterly destroyed. So really, there's only one of the side parts that's still on there. And then it's destroyed, and really it would have been so. And then there's nothing on the other side. So really, all that's left is about part of one side of the shrine, and then just a flat surface otherwise. And you see draped on the across that still. The sole remaining side wall kind of thing are a pair of kind of wooden, like not symbols, but I guess symbols, like wooden symbols that have been tied together with twigs and either leather straps or twine, and then hung on a leather or kind of woven cord. And what they look like is like this. Let's see if I can get a proper. There we go.
Kind of like a double cross.
Yeah. And one of them has these cross parts are actually angled down. Like these are singular pieces there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what they look like.
Okay.
Why don't you make a let's see here.
As soon as Sir Quintus sees it, he calls out to Brother Castus. Brother Castus, look here at the shrine.
He sees it and then says, "What is this? what? Heresy! And he kind of hops off his horse and comes running over. And he looks over and then quickly kind of like, you know, tosses the little those things, you know, brushes them off the side. But he's sort of as if he was clearing clutter. He really didn't attribute any meaning to them. And he's looking down. He's like, oh, fuck. Who would have done such a thing? And he begins to try to pick up some of the loose stones from the ground and starts trying to, you know, to repair this thing. What are you doing?
Was there room for me to climb down and help him, or not really?
Yeah, I mean, look, what you can do is, like, this is not exactly a busy thoroughfare, so you could just tie the horses up.
Yeah, I'll get off my horse and I'll tie up my horse and his horse, and come over and start helping him and suggest. Then I'll say to him, you know, Brother Castus, I think we'll have to take note of this location and send some masons out to properly repair this shrine.
Yeah, I think he's sort of like, yes, he sort of realizes that he can't assemble us back together. He's like, so this, I see there the further away from, you know, from the church that these communities go, the easier it is for them to fall from the fold. And he sort of gestures to the broken shrine. He says, we must help these souls reacquaint themselves with Mitra.
Yes. So I pick up the things that he brushed aside.
Yep.
And I picked them up off the ground, and I can see that they're actually constructed. And I hold them up to him, and I said, Brother Castus, what do you make of these?
Okay.
Is this some other religion?
Let's see what he looks at him. He sort of scratches his beard. He says, heathenry, deviltry. This does not bode well. We need.
Is it best to destroy them?
Yes.
Okay. Sir Quintus will break apart the little talismans.
Okay. And yeah, so they just crack like twigs underneath your hands. And as soon as you break them, there's a big gust of wind that suddenly comes in, and the trees are actually like creaking.
Sir Quintus puts his hand on his sword for a second and looks around.
Okay. You're looking around, and the skies are mostly overcast, but and it seems like it has the promise of rain coming. But I mean, the mountains, it seems to always have that promise, you know. Yeah. But yeah, so after a moment or so, you realize that there's nothing. There's nothing coming. Would you make a whichever is lower, your survival or your perception? Make a check for that, please.
I don't have any survival, so.
Okay.
What's the normal success on these then?
It's whatever your governing attribute is, and just the yeah, you get a complication on a 19 or 20 if you don't have any focus in them.
Right. Oh, I got one success.
Nice. Okay, so the wind blows, and you hear the creaking, and then for whatever reason, it's maybe because you've been on the road for so long, and you've gotten so used to to the sounds of nature. There's no sounds of any birds, or even any animals for that matter.
Yeah, I pull out the sort of crude map that we're using here to move along this territory, and I make a mark where this shrine is, roughly.
Yeah.
And actually, probably that might be one of the things that's most well demarcated on my little map, would be these shrines. Like if this is some map that my church has put together, this would probably be properly indicated.
Yeah.
I mark which one's been desecrated, and I put my hand on Brother Quintus's shoulder, or Brother Castus's shoulder, and say, I think we need to get moving from here. This doesn't seem like a safe place to dwell.
Okay, get a fortune point for that. That was really cool. And he sort of looks around and nods, says, yes, night comes soon in the mountains. Let us continue. So you hop back on your horses, and you guys start riding up towards Pine Summit. It's actually not that long. It's only about maybe another hour of ride before you finally ride into. Oopsies, I want to do that. You ride into the town of Pine Summit, and unfortunately, it's not. What do you call it? It's not evening yet, but it does seem like the dark comes soon in the mountains here.
Yeah.
And this is what you are riding into.
It's quite a spooky town.
Yeah, it's this town looks like it's been here for quite some time. And you see there's the scarecrows you're passing as you guys are coming riding in. There's already torches out to sort of light some of the major thoroughfares, I guess the one major thoroughfare this town would have. There are birds on the scarecrow there that kind of eye you guys, the two of you, as you come riding into the town. Your horse kind of shakes at the well, I guess for some reason you're not maybe sure just why. You know as well from the history, Nemedia itself is a kingdom that dates back to the time of Acheron. So Nemedia is, thousands of years old, and these mountains have likely been inhabited for as long too. Now, obviously, the buildings and whatnot are likely, rebuilt, or they're not standing from the time of, from that far back. But that something likely has stood here for, 3 millennia.
Yeah. Okay.
So you come riding in, and you guys are getting some looks from people as they're going by. Pine Hollow, incidentally, is sort of located in a bit of a pass that leads through to the border kingdoms, and then eventually down into Aquilonia. So it does see this trail does see some relatively significant amount of travel, albeit it's a dangerous sort of route.
Right.
You're riding in here, and you can see that the name comes from the fact that there are obviously, lots of pine trees around. The town itself is built in a bit of a depression. The whole town itself seems to kind of go down into an area, and then right in the center, there's a massive pine tree that sort of lends the town its name. That pine tree itself, it's taller than any pine you think you've seen in memory, which is saying something, because it's in the conditions here and the weather that it frequents it. A lone standing tree like that would not last long against the harsh elements. So you ride down. The center of town where the tree is also effectively sort of the town, what do you call it? The town hall, or the town hall, the town square. And in there, you can see that there is the only building really that has noise coming out of it is a single tavern.
So do we have arrangements of somewhere to stay, or?
No, you don't really have a way of calling ahead in this time. So you'll just try to, make best. If this place, it looks like it's a tavern, and I'm sorry, not just a tavern, it's a tavern and inn.
Right. So we can stay there. Okay.
Yeah. So you'd likely to stay in there. So you come riding up, and there is a place. There's a small rickety stable along the side that has a couple of horses in it and a couple of empty stables, I guess, in it. I don't know. What do you call a stable that you? Where's the place you park a horse?
I don't know.
Is it a stable? I don't know. Stall?
Stall?
I don't know.
I think a horse stall is like the individual thing where you put the horse.
Okay, so there you go. So yeah, there are still like 3 stalls that are empty. There are 2 that are occupied presently. Do you have training in animal handling?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I would probably handle the horses.
Okay. Well, actually, just go ahead and make the check for animal handling. I just want to see if you notice something.
Oh, okay. Yep, 2 successes.
2 successes. You only need 1. So what you can do is you can either gain some extra information from what you're going to glean here, or you can bank that momentum.
No, I'll take the extra information.
Okay. So what you notice is that obviously one of the horses is a stockier, kind of it's like an aging war horse almost. He doesn't have any barding on him or anything like that, but he does have some fairly faded, like fancy harnessing on him. I can't remember what that's called either. The sort of the tackle, I guess, the saddle itself has been taken off and is sort of hanging on the side, and it's quite nice. It's old, but at some point there was some really nice filigree that was put into it and whatnot. The other horse is a lighter riding horse, and it looks incredibly well maintained. It's clearly a very rich person's horse. You can also tell.
Sir Quintus pats the horse and maybe gives each of these horses one little treat that he gives their horses when he comes by, and as he's there at that one horse, he says, "My, aren't you a beautiful beast?"
Okay, it's sort of like in agreement with you.
Yeah.
And the other things is because you rolled so well, because you spent your momentum on this too, you can tell that the markings on the saddle for this smaller horse, you think are actually from a minor, like a minor noble house from northern Nemedia. This is one of the things that you, as a knight, you sort of get used to is identifying sigils, right, and heraldry. And you've noted that she, this horse's owner, is from some northern Nemedian nobility.
Okay, noted.
Okay, so you finished feeding the horses. Brother Castus, I guess, has gone in at this point. What are you doing? Oh no, he's probably waiting for you. He's going to wait for you.
Okay. I guess we'll head in and speak to the innkeeper immediately upon entering.
So you walk in there, and the room is sort of laid out where there's a bit of there's some space for people to relax and sit and drink in sort of the middle. There's a big hearth right in the center of the room. So the bar itself is on the left as you walk in, and there's a hallway that sort of leads back to something else, but it's darkened, so you suspect it's not for public use. There is on the back side where the hearth goes, it looks like there is some kind of kitchen back there, and then to your right immediately is sort of some stairs that lead up and around the big common area to some rooms that are located upstairs. When you walk in, you see that there are a bunch of what you would guess would be locals, like mountain folk, all sort of clusters of men and maybe a couple of women who are sitting at some of the tables near the hearth, and then off in sort of the corner where the sort of where the last bit of the staircase kind of reaches the top, where to the balcony, looking down on the room, there is a very fine dressed and beautiful looking woman who is sitting with her back to the wall, sort of watching the room. She has a little headdress that sits lightly over her long kind of light brown curly hair, and her bright blue eyes sort of are flashing back and forth across the room, taking it in with a bit of a bemused kind of expression on her face. The man sitting across from her is clearly some kind of aged warrior. He has pretty vicious scar on his face. He's got this short cropped hair of kind of the the military sort. Actually, no, I think he's got a little bit of, it's like it's curly, but it's sort of unevenly sort of carved back. His hair likely was a light brown as well at some point, but it's gone dark to the color of like an ashen gray.
Okay.
With still flecks of what used to be, his darker color. He's got about 3 or 4 days of growth across his face, and he's still wearing this fairly impressive suit of chainmail armor. His sword and shield are set at his side, but he's digging into some kind of food before him and seems most concerned with that. What are you doing? Oh, and I guess the other two things you see is there is a sort of heavier, she's a pretty rake thin man standing behind the bar who's leaning away from you, sort of talking down at this table full of other men, seemingly locals who are all involved in some kind of deep conversation you can't quite overhear. And then as you sort of walk in, this woman comes sort of rushing out with a tray full of ales, and just kind of says, or drinks at least, and says, sir, I did not see you.
Good day. We just arrived. We would like your finest room with 2 beds in it for the night, please.
My finest. And she sort of like shoots a look at the woman in the corner, and then looks over to the man who's leaning away from you, and she says, "Agron, Agron, you have guests." And the man who was talking to the other gentleman behind the bar, he sort of turns back towards you, and you can see he's got a bit of a long beard. It's a thick mustache. His hair is quite long, but pulled into a bit of a ponytail. And he's got these, while his hair is all white and his beard is white, he's got these big bushy black eyebrows. And he looks at you with these dark brown eyes and kind of flashes you a smile and says, "Gentlemen, welcome to my inn." And we are fortunate to have more visitors from. Ooh, that's cool. Did you hear that whistle?
No.
No, the wind was whistling.
Cool.
So he turns and walks over towards you. He's got a kind of a billowy shirt underneath, the sleeves rolled up. He's got like really ropey, strong hands. For a thin guy, he's quite he seems quite strong. He stands ramrod straight as he walks over towards you. He's got this deep, sonorous voice to him. And so will you be staying with us for the evening?
Yes, for the evening. I am Sir Quintus. This is Brother Castus. We would like one night here in your finest room that has 2 beds. You can see my companion here. He's getting on a little on in age, and a more soft bed would be appreciated for him.
Brother Castus kind of like shoots you that look that you can feel him looking at you, and with the way he holds eye contact, he just is waiting for you to look over.
Yeah.
You look or just ignore him?
I ignore him. I know he doesn't like me to use that as an excuse to get a nicer room, but it's sort of what I've been doing on this trip.
Okay. So what he sort of holds the eye contact and starts talking before he looks away. He says, "Sir, whatever room is available will suit. Neither me nor my foolish companion will require any extra luxuries." And the tall man says, or Agron says, "Perhaps a compromise. All of my rooms are clean and warm and have comfortable beds. But alas, my finest room has already been spoken for by," and he gestures over, "Milady. And I trust that you gentlemen are both chivalric and chivalrous."
Indeed.
Very well.
We would also definitely take 2 hearty meals.
Of course. So the road has no doubt left you hungry. Tell me, where do you come from?
We've traveled from what would be a certain city we come from.
Yeah, you say from the east.
Okay, from the east. Would we be from Govarius or?
I think Bavaris is probably where you're from. You're actually probably originally from. Where's the other?
Or would there be a specific name, maybe, of the church that we come from?
Well, that's it. In Nemedia, Belvaris is the. Okay, so when Nemedia was conquered, but Nemedia was a kingdom from, again, around the time of Acheron. But when Acheron fell to the onslaught of Hyborian tribes that swarmed down from the north, Nemedia also fell. But what the Hyborians found when they conquered Nemedia is basically these incredibly advanced and massively built cities that they just sort of took, and then Nemedia, one of the reasons why it became so powerful so quickly is because it basically stood on the shoulders of giants. It used that ancient knowledge and those ancient cities and whatnot, or the ancient structures and whatnot, to basically, maintain a level of civilization and sophistication that the previous inhabitants of Nemedia did.
Right. Okay.
Belvaris is an amazing example of those. It's like the best example around of those ancient structures and architecture. But it's actually Numalia, a city a little further to the south. That's smaller than Belvaris, but it's where basically all the temples are, including the Temple of Mitra.
Okay. I would say, something, we come from the High Temple of Mitra in Numilia, or from Numilia.
I stand corrected. The Temple of Mitra in Numalia is smaller than the one in Belvaris, but it's more aggressive.
Oh, okay. Well, we're probably from Belvaris then.
Okay. So you're from Belvaris.
I'm from the High Temple of Midas in Belvaris.
He says,
we're here on a pilgrimage through the lands. My companion is here to preach to the local folk about Midas.
He says, Mitra.
Or Mitra.
Yeah, so he says, Brother Castus says, yes, we have come to offer ministrations and guidance in the worship of Mitra. And Agron says, "Oh, well, I'm certain that will be of interest and benefit to to us here, to my fellow, I'm not sure what it was, citizens, I guess, to my neighbors."
So would we hold maybe some kind of a thing in the morning where we would invite them at a certain time to come and Brother Castus could meet with them, or?
Yeah, I think what sort of what you guys have been doing in other towns is you sort of get yourself established in here, you get yourself settled in, and then Brother Cassis does sort of a survey of the status of things, and then will sort of take steps as appropriate. And then he's also keeping pretty meticulous notes as he goes to be able to pass that back to the church itself.
So, like, we might say something like, you know, you let anyone know that they may speak with Brother Castus in the town square or town center tomorrow at, you know, 10 bells or whatever, 10 a.m., whatever they would say.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Or noon bells, or I don't know, some whatever signal that the towns would do, so you have some idea of the time.
Sure. The Agron says, well, the custom in Pine Hollow is for us to meet, is for the townsfolk to meet beneath the pine. So if you wish to meet with my neighbors, that may be the best location for you to, from which to offer your ministrations.
Excellent.
Now,
Thank you.
please make yourselves comfortable. I will have Zana ensure that your room is ready, and I will have your food brought out to you presently. We have dried pork. We also have a suckling hog that we have prepared for tonight, and we still have some left. Fresh bread, butter, and do you prefer wine or ale? And Nemedia is actually sort of famous for its wines.
Yeah, I was going to say wine is probably what we would have.
Okay, so he says, of course. And then he calls out Zana, and she, when you guys leave, she leans in, or he leans in and sort of gives her some directions. So you guys go down, and the seat that is most convenient for you is likely the one sort of near where that Nemedian woman is sitting.
Okay.
And her companion.
So I take off my gauntlet, my helmet, set my shield down, and I go over to speak with them.
Okay. Well, actually, she probably beats you to it. As you're putting your stuff down, the big knight, he looks over and sort of studies you, and doesn't stop shoveling food in his mouth. But she looks up at you and she says, "Oh, well met, Sir Knight."
Oh, wait. What did you say? What house she was from? That he knew?
He doesn't know.
Oh, he doesn't know. Okay.
No.
He says, "What would bring a fine, beautiful, noble lady like you to a dingy place like this?"
She sort of laughs and says, "Do you have how many ranks in Persuade do you have?"
Persuade. None.
Okay, so I'm going to make you make a check for that.
I do have 3 ranks in society.
Yes, then that's fine. Why don't you make a society check for me, please? Let's see how this goes over. And again, you can spend Doom if you like to get some extra dice. Start topping that momentum pool up if you like.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I will spend 1 Doom to get 1 more D20.
Okay.
I'll give you some Doom. Oh, God. Well, the good news is I got a success. The bad news is I rolled a 20.
Oh, complication. Well, I'm not going to fuck up the scene, so I think I'm just going to bank that in more Doom, because I always love getting Doom. Okay, so
maybe your companion doesn't like me very much.
No, I think you haven't offended her or anything like that. Okay. You said the appropriate things. So you presented it the way you presented it was in a respectful and appropriate way. And she sort of smiles. She says, "Well," and she looks to her companion. She says, "Carthus, Clearly, we have a flatterer here. Sir Knight, tell me, what is your name?
I am Sir Quintus. And this traveling companion is Brother Castus.
And she smiles at you both and says, well, so Sir Quintus and Brother Castus, well met. I am Octavia Valura, and this is Sir Carthus. And the knight kind of like grunts at you and then continues on eating his food. Which is, you must excuse Sir Carthus. He does get quite surly when he is not hungry or when he has not been fed. And he sort of like, shoots her a quick look and then looks down back at his food, or looks back at you, I guess. And she says, well, it is family business that brings me through these mountains, Sir Quintus. What brings you to these remote regions?
Brother Castus here is on, what do you call it, a pilgrimage or a...
Yeah, I think you'd call it that.
He's here on a pilgrimage. We're here to try and, rebuild the fine name of Mitras.
It's just a noble undertaking indeed.
Are lots of people a worshiper of this god in Nemedia, or? Yeah,
to be honest, like most Hyborians worship Mitra. Mitra is the god, effectively like the predominant faith in Aquilonia, the predominant faith in Nemedia, prominent faith in Ophir, and in it's not quite as popular in Koth, but it's still a presence there.
Okay, I was gonna say to her, are you a lady of faith?
She says, of course. So I end my days routinely with prayers to Mitra. Please, so Sir Quintus, would you and Brother Castus care to join us? Castus, I'm sorry, care to join us? It's been it's ever so lonely traveling these roads, and I welcome the opportunity to meet fellow travelers.
Before Brother Castus can say anything, Sir Quintus is quickly grabbed all of his stuff and shoving the night guy kind of over with his hip, make some room, and he's already sitting down. He just is dying for someone else to talk to other than Brother Castus.
So the Brother Castus walks over and he comes over and he sort of accepts that this is what's happening, and he says, "Tell me, my lady, so are you the daughter of Dorian Valus? Dorian Valura?" And she says, "Why, yes, I am, brother. So you are quite well traveled." He says, "Your father has been quite generous to the church, and his name is well thought of in the halls of my brothers and sisters." And he says, "It is an honor to meet you, Lady Octavia. This is far from the Valurian lands. What brings you here?" And she says, "Oh, of course, just family business. As you know, my father, the clever man that he is always scheming, and he has brought even me in. She brought even his lowly daughter in on his schemes." And she turns to you and says, "Can you believe that? The boldness of my father to be sending an unmarried woman out into the wilds." And at that, Carthus, or Sir Carthus, kind of, gives you a dirty look, like, "Don't even fucking think about it, buddy."
Sir Quintus just looks at her and he winks and he says, "Scandalous."
Scandalous indeed. Now, bear with me a moment. I want to grab something.
Yep.
I had in mind here. Where are you? There it is. Your food is brought to you, and then you guys begin, or continue having a pleasant conversation. And Lady Octavia is, of course, a quite curious young woman. She's probably in her maybe like late teens, so she's clearly past like marriage age. She just seems to be. That's something with your level of society. It's not polite to ask about necessarily, but
right,
something curious. So I'm just trying to find something here. Where is it?
I don't think Sir Quintus is much of a ladies' man or anything, so.
Okay.
All of his history and stuff, so he would just sort of be. It's much more that it's a friendly face and someone to talk to who's not Brother Castus. He's not necessarily, he is at this point quite developed with his duties.
Okay.
Obviously, if he's been sent on this mission with Brother Castus, and so.
Yeah. So, as the night sort of goes on, you guys are there for quite some time. It turns out that Lady Octavia is quite the chatty Cathy, and also quite the charmer. Even Brother Castus is a little, he seems more at ease once he gets to know her a bit than what you've seen him.
He's probably having else to talk to as well.
Yeah, he's probably quite sick of your insolence and quite happy to be around someone who who knows her manners, or at least as far as he's concerned, knows her manners. So then, in the course of the conversation, then Lady Octavia turns back to you and then says, "So then, tell me, Sir Quintus, tell me about your family."
Oh, my family? Well, my father and my grandfather were both scholars. They worked at the Grand Library in Varus.
Really?
Yes. Quite interesting.
Indeed. I mean, to have access to such lore. I mean, it's said that the library in Balvarus is the grandest in all the known world.
Well, I can tell you from spending many, many hours in it that it is wondrous.
Fascinating. The stories you must have to tell.
Oh, the scrolls and tomes in there are unbelievable.
Such a place. Did you grow up in there? Were you acquired quite young?
Yes. I grew up there.
Then what prompted you, if you'll forgive my boldness, what prompted you to take up the duties of a squire?
Well, trouble came to the church, and there was a call to arms, and being able-bodied and of that age, my father and my grandfather insisted that I take up arms to protect the church. They were both devout men, and it seemed the right thing to do.
And your father and your grandfather, are they still around? So have they passed, or?
My father is still around. My grandfather has since passed.
She gives you a sort of a sad look. And this is as the evening is waning on a little, and you're a little deeper in your cups. And she says to you, tell me, Sir Quintus, are you married?
Well, indeed I am. I'm married to the church and to my duty as a knight to swear and protect it.
That's totally acceptable, but I don't think the priesthood of Mitra is celibate necessarily. So that could be a decision your character makes, but it's not like the Catholic Church where you have to be.
I think celibate. He does it as cover to the fact that he's not really, like, he's not a ladies' man. He's never had any luck with ladies, so.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
it's not that he, believes it. It's just a cover to.
I love it. Yeah, that's okay. That's great. That's okay. So,
but he does say, but I do truly enjoy the charm and company of one such as yourself.
and that is quite charming of you to say. Now, Sir Quintus, tell me, and she kind of leans in conspiratorially, who is it that you trust the most?
Trust. Honestly, in this world today, I would say the only person I truly trust is myself.
That's a sad comment on the individuals you know, is it not?
Well, the Brotherhood is full of men who, although following Mitra, definitely have their own goals. And he kind of gives Brother Castus a look like you maybe shouldn't be saying this, but
yeah.
And they don't necessarily make for the best of friends.
Castus is just doing that creepy stare at you, and then without breaking eye contact with you, says, "Of course, what Sir Quintus means." Sir Quintus does not mean to imply that church is not a welcoming place for all. It is a testament to that even one as peculiar and prone to isolation as Sir Quintus is welcome in its fold. And he's still holding eye contact with you the whole time he's saying this.
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, of course, of course."
Sir Quintus does the sort of equivalent, the Conan equivalent of the scratch his eye with his middle finger at.
Yeah. Okay.
He's sort of, calling him down there a little.
Okay. Sir Brother Cast. Actually, when you do that, Sir Carthus kind of gets a bit of a guffaw.
Yeah. And as Brother Castus's way, he doesn't sort of notice it. He's making eye contact.
Tell me, so Sir Quintus, and then she said, the Lady Octavia says, "You'll forgive me my foolish parlor games, but I have some questions for you then. Tell me, Sir Quintus," and these are quite fun. We'll all try. Sir Quintus, what is your favorite thing?
My favorite thing, now that is an easy question. That would be my greatest companion, Old Faithful. She is a beautiful warhorse. I shall introduce you to her in the morning.
She laughs and says, "I would like that very much." And
I saw your steed out there, also a beautiful specimen.
River, you met her.
Yes, River. I gave her a treat. I hope you don't mind.
You would not be the first to spoil her, so that is quite acceptable. Then tell me, so Sir Quintus, if that is your favorite, what is your least favorite thing?
Well, if I were to answer truthfully, it would be the duty life. It tires on my soul some days.
This is probably when it's grown a little later. Brother Castus has probably gone to bed at this point.
Okay, so he's quite honest with her. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm picturing this being a little later in the evening, and probably some of the some or if not all the townsfolk have gone home. So it's probably only Agron and Xana and maybe one or two other hardcore drunks who are left in the bar. Of course, Sir Carthus is still here as well.
Well, I joined up with the church in a time of need, and now that time of need is past, the life of duty just doesn't serve my soul well.
She says, "Well, what would you see your purpose being? Do you wish to travel?"
I would love to see the world and see some of the lore that I've read about in this wonderful tomes for myself. and have some of the grand adventures that I've read about as well. The life of a knight of the church is quite boring.
She says, wow, surely more interesting than the life of a lord's daughter waiting for marriage, if I can be so bold. Now,
and then as a joke, Sir Quintus says, maybe we should run off together and have an adventure.
Sir Carthus, again, kind of, you know, and she says,
"Oh, my chest," he says too.
She says, sadly, so that you have your duties, and as do I, to my family. House Valuria has obligations. But tell me, Sir Quintus, how would your father then, if I was to ask him, describe you?
I think my father sees me as a bit of a lost soul, and he thought that the church would bring me some structure to life. So, you know, I haven't spoken to him for many years, so it's hard to know what he would think of me now, but I'm sure he'd be proud to see me serving the church in this role.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have a younger sister and an older brother.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Your DM's looking for his index cards. One sec here. Where'd I put him?
My older brother has continued the family tradition and become one of the keepers of the library. And my sister, I believe last I heard, was married.
Okay. So you are the middle child then?
I am the middle child.
Okay.
Sadly, I was away traveling when my sister was married and have not met her husband.
Ah. Is he a good man though?
From what I've heard, my father would not have allowed the marriage if he was anything other than an upstanding man.
Does she still live in Belvaris, or has she gone elsewhere?
No, they have moved to, let's see, where are you from?
There's Numalia as well. That's the other city.
Oh, he's actually like from some farther away.
It would be really unusual in this age to like move to another nation.
Okay, he's just from Numalia then.
If they were royalty or of some kind, that's a reason to marry off.
Yeah.
Or like nobility, that would be a reason to marry off. But it would be really weird to, not actually. That's not true. Like Conan traveled all over the fucking place, so it could be just
maybe he's the son of the head librarian of Numalia.
The son of which? Sorry.
A person from the library in Nemedia.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's really cool.
So that's how they met, right?
Yeah.
I only remember him as a small boy.
Okay.
I know nothing of the man he's become.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay. She says, well, it seems so you are the exception to your family's destiny.
Yes, it does seem so.
Actually, not destiny is not really a very Conan thing to say, but whatever. I think she is. She thinks that. This is just a question for you, Jeff. Does Sir Quintus have any recurring mannerisms? Is there something that we see him doing as he's talking to her?
Yeah, I think he's kind of got like a bit of a nervous laugh that he does.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay. So he put that down. Oh, as a mechanical reminder too, you know you've got your trait on your character sheet as well, right? It's the thing you got from one of your backstory components.
Oh, right. Yep.
Yeah, and when you use that to create a complication, then you gain another fortune point. I think you're at your max of 5 right now, so you can't get more than that. But yeah, just as a reminder that can be used to do that. You can also get a fortune point by voluntarily failing a skill check.
Now that's one of these little books you printed for us, right?
That's right. It's on the character sheet itself.
Right. It says righteous disobedience.
Right. Is that what the trait is?
I think so.
Let's see.
That's what it says. I don't know, Kevin. It's your handwriting, and you.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
I think it was really long, and you ran out of space, so it's like crammed in there.
Yeah, hold on. Let me.
Righteous disobedience.
Righteous disobedience. Okay. Oh, what is your nature?
Learned.
Oh, hold on, it's not that. Where's the trait?
Must be from the priesthood story.
Oh yeah, that would make sense. Okay, so righteous disobedience. Yes. Okay, that's your trait. So, and it was from intolerant potentates.
So what does it say?
It just says righteous disobedience. So it's however you want to play that up. So if you're basically like someone who won't bow to, I guess maybe to authority, and you then it
right, like the teachings of the Church of Mitra are above the laws of man in his mind.
Okay. So when you play that up in a negative way for your character, you gain a fortune point.
Okay.
Okay. I need to take just a quick moment. I need to go to the washroom quickly.
Yeah. So I don't think he's really had much opportunity for that yet. So.
Yeah. Okay, sorry about that. So, what you find from her, she asked sort of where you're going, what your destination is, and I'm guessing that you sort of, unless you're intending on hiding it from her, you let her know that you're sort of traveling along, and there isn't necessarily a set destination. She's impressed with how much you've traveled across the north too. You haven't hit her family's lands yet, but you've actually been quite close to them. They're just a little further south from where you've been had been traveling. So, but yeah, she does of course extend an invite. Like when you guys, if you guys find yourself in her father's lands, she would welcome the opportunity to meet with you and to welcome you into her home, introduce her to her family, and to enjoy their hospitality.
Oh, wonderful! I thank her for the offer.
Okay, so at that point, there's a bit of a weird circumstance. There's a bit of a weird moment where you think you're going to be sick.
Oh.
I'm not sure if it's something you ate or something you drank or whatever, but you're going to be sick and quite suddenly.
Okay, I excuse myself from the table.
Okay.
And probably go outside.
Yeah, I think that's probably the easiest. So you stagger outside, and there's of course the big opening area there, or the big yard with the big pines sweeping up in the center of the town. And he's trying to find maybe a darkened area just to so you're not embarrassing yourself.
Towards the stables.
Okay, so you make your way over towards the stables. Well, actually, the darker is probably the other side of the Yeah, so you get over there, and you really barely get there, and then you just everything is out, and you, to the point where you can feel like almost like your whole body is shuddering as you're emptying out, and then so once you've finished with that, you feel obviously very weakened and quite tired. Lady Octavia instantly was sort of asking, like, what's wrong, Sir Quintus? And you really couldn't say. You just sort of like could gesture because you were scared that if you started talking, it would just,
Yeah.
So you finish your business, and then you're leaning against the side of the building under the eaves of the roof. And you hear sort of the wind comes in again and blows along the back of your head, and you've got a little bit of sweat that is suddenly, chillingly dried by that wind. And you hear the rattling of something in the eaves, and the eaves don't stand there; they're quite close above you.
Yeah.
Looking. Should you make a perception check for me, please? Or observation, I think is what it's called.
No training. Oh, but I got a success.
Nice. Okay. Well, actually, okay, here's the thing. You're actually going to need 3 because of the darkness. You'll need 3 successes to spot. So what you can either do is you can spend a fortune point. Wait, you got no training in it, right?
No.
Oh, fuck. And you can get success at... is there a success at cost available here? I think that with that something's up there, but you can't, because of the darkness, you can't quite see it yet. So you can maybe like collect a torch or something like that.
Stick or something and knock it down.
Yeah, I'm picturing there are sort of like 2 big torches that are sort of burning outside of the tavern or the inn. Okay,
so I'll go grab one of the torches and bring it over.
So actually, when you make your way over there, you see that Lady Octavia, and then immediately behind her is Sir Quintus, are standing in there, and she says, Sir Quintus, with a look of sort of concern in her face, are you all right?
Oh yeah, sorry, milady, I was just violently ill there.
Oh, are you well, is what she would say. Yeah. She's, oh, how terrible.
Yeah.
Something
I don't know if it was something in the food or just too much wine, but when I was over by the side of the building here, I've seen something on the eaves.
Well, so what Sir Quintus actually interrupts you before you have a chance to say that, and says perhaps, and this is the first time you've heard him speak. He says, bedtime for all is perhaps best then, or beds for all is perhaps best then. Come, my lady. And at that, Lady Octavia sort of, looks back up at you, those big blue eyes, and says, in the morning then, sir.
Okay, so then what I do is I hang the torch back up, I go inside, and I would get my gauntlets and my helmet and my stuff that was at the table.
Okay, well, this really happens before that. Because what happens is as Lady Octavia turns in as if to walk in, and then Sir Quintus walks inside, and while his back is turned, and as you're walking to get into the inn, she spins and leans in and plants a very passionate but very brief kiss square on your lips, and then you spins around and then follows in as if nothing has happened.
Mm.
So she falls,
flushes and heads in to pick up his stuff.
Okay. So as you are walking to grab your things, Sir Carthus and Lady Octavia are making their way up, and she has the bearing to spare just one very quick, meaningful look with you as she's making her way up to the second floor and then across the balcony.
I wink at her.
Okay. She's actually already looked away, probably. Oh, no, you can do a quick enough. Sure. Yeah, that's fine. So you collect your things, and then you start heading out the door, and then Agron says, Sir Knight, you intend to sleep elsewhere?
No, but I've seen something outside on the building on your eaves, and it has caught my attention, and I will find it hard to sleep without investigating it.
Okay. Okay. He says, oh, something hanging. A bat?
I couldn't tell in the darkness. You're welcome to come and investigate it with me.
Certainly. Let me come and assist you. And he says, oh, just first, let us, so I will have Xana collect the lanterns. The torches are best not disturbed once they are attached. So he, well, actually, no, Xana's already gone to bed, so I guess he says, well, allow me to collect the lantern, and he walks down around the into the darkness where the eaves are, or where the wherever the patrons don't go, that place to the left when you first walk in.
Yeah.
Walks back there. He's gone for you hear some so the sounds of something being like wooden boxes being picked up and moved. And then he comes out. There's a bit of or he walks out with the lantern. He lowers a thing of wood into the fire, lights the lantern, and says, "Come." He steps outside and he begins sort of walking towards the stables. He says, "Now, where did you see this?"
This way, but I lead him the other way to where I was sick. Oh.
And he makes your way over there, and you what do you call it? He leads you around the corner, and you see where you are, where there's he looks down and he says, something you ate tonight?
Possibly. I'm not sure.
Are you ill?
Says to the innkeeper.
We have no apothecary in Pine Summit. So if you are taking ill, Sir Knight, perhaps bed is the place you should be.
Yes, agreed. Right after I see what this is.
Very well. And he raises up his lantern, and you're looking in the eaves. And you're looking along. Doesn't look like there's anything there. Can you make a perception check for me, please?
So this is still observation?
Or observation, yes, thank you.
Okay, I'll use a doom.
Okay.
I'll give you a doom. Roll 3. Oh, that is 2 successes.
Okay. Yes, that's good enough. So what you're looking up there, and while the lantern is he's sort of like moving around to try and he's moving around as if it was going to give you a better vantage, but what it's doing is just casting weird shadows as he moves it, so it's a little tricky to see. But what you can see,
he's trying to be obstructive.
Why? Let me see here. What? Would you make an insight check for me, please?
Okay. Insight. Ooh, I have insight. I would spend a fortune point on this.
Nice. So, and you're trained in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's automatically 2 successes.
Yep, and I rolled another success, so 3 successes.
3 successes. You only need 1 to notice this, that, yeah, he's being a silly bugger.
Right. Okay, so I walk over to him and I said, "Give me this lantern. You're a fool."
Okay. He says, "Sir Knight, of course, I only sought to help."
I take the lantern from him and use it myself to scan the eaves.
Okay. There wasn't that caught your eye in spite of his fooling around. So you look over, and what you see is that there is a small nail in the that's been driven into the eaves, and hanging from it, you notice that there's another one quite near there on one of the other eaves, or another part of the eave, I guess. But there's a nail there, and then hanging from the nail is a bit of torn leather strap. It's very thin, but it's similar to the strap that you saw on those whatever they were.
What I had sort of seen in the dark was larger than this previous to getting the lantern.
Yeah, now having seen that strap and thinking about what the other ones, it could have been one of those wooden things clattering up against the eaves.
Right, but maybe someone's come and ripped it down.
Yeah.
I start to walk all around the building to see if there's any more of them hanging anywhere around on the outside.
You walk around to the back, and you can see that there is a door here from that. And when you walk in, there's the hallway that goes down to that back room, presumably storage and larder and stuff like that. There's a door from there that leads out to the back. So in theory, someone could have gone from there.
Yeah, do I see any fresh-looking prints or anything like that? Do I have any?
Yeah, are you trained in survival?
No.
No. You could try and look, but I mean, like it's tough. There is a lot of grass around the sides of here, so.
Right. It's not, yeah.
We can try it. I mean, like again, like Leia can ride a speeder bike, so we got to find a Conan equivalent of that.
Okay. I'll make a survival check.
Okay.
Nope. In fact, I rolled a 20.
Oh, complication, eh? Okay. I am going to actually. I'm just taking in Doom for now. I know what I'm probably going to do with that, but
right. I mean, it's the same difference if you bank it and spend it later.
Yeah, exactly. So you are looking at.
Talking me, Kev?
Say again?
Agar, or what's his name?
Agron?
Agron, is he still accompanying me around the building?
Yeah, he's still walking with you.
Okay.
You have his lantern, so he's walking along. He says, "Sir Knight, are you satisfied?"
No, I'm not satisfied. Someone has been out here and ripped down what I had seen earlier. Would that have been you?
Sir Knight, are you feverish?
No, I am not feverish. I am quite certain.
Perhaps rest would assist you, Sir Knight. I mean no offense.
Well, no offense taken, but you know you shouldn't interfere in the church's business.
I am a loyal follower of Mitra. What way have I interfered with the church's business? Please tell me, and I will try to correct my error.
Well, on our way here, at the nearest shrine to Mitra, the shrine was destroyed, and left in its place were a couple of strange cross-like talismans. They were made from sticks and wisps of leather. And if you come back here, and I take him back to where that other one is, and I show him the piece of leather, I say, leather that looked strikingly similar to these.
He looks, he says, Sir Knight, we often place...
You often place heretical symbols hanging from the outside of your inn?
No, Sir Knight. We these, and he points at his eaves. These are places. So these are attract these eaves attract birds without remorse. So we often hang aromatic satchels to prevent them.
You would not object to me investigating your back room?
No. Of course, Sir Knight, please. He says, allow me to show you the way.
Okay, so I follow.
Lead him in, and he leads you into the room. And he carries he says, Jay says, may I have my lantern? Or
yeah, give me his lantern back.
Okay. So he leads you into the back room. He says, as you can see, this is my larder. This is where we keep the, and it's like sacks of vegetables and flour and the similar.
Where was this lantern that you fetched?
And he gestures onto the, there's a box on, like a wooden box sitting on a stool, or also on a table. And there are some things taken out of it. And there's a space that seems to accommodate for where the lantern would be. Is there, sir?
I look around all the boxes and everything. Is there like a waste? Is there any kind of a space that would be for like rubbish or anything like that?
Not really. No, I don't think that there's really. I don't think that really exists in this world.
Right.
You probably just collect your rubbish and then toss it out into a rubbish heap.
Well, if I find that you've been deceiving me, innkeeper, it will be a great mistake on your part.
He strokes his beard and he says, Sir Knight, so I certainly would not think to offend someone carrying out the will of Mitra. Now, please allow me to show you to your room.
Thank you.
So you get up there. By the time you get up there and you get your armor off and stuff like that, it's you realize just how tired you are. You're pretty worked up and you're still feeling a little ill. You splash. There's some water left in here for you, so you splash that over your face to try and cool down. There's a window in here. Did you want to open it to try and get some fresh air in as well?
Maybe a little crack.
Okay, so you crack the window open and and you collapse down into bed. And it really does not, as much as your mind is probably racing a bit with what this innkeeper is up to. You do find sleep pretty quickly, just by virtue of how tired and how kind of ill you've been feeling. And you dream.
In the time of the trouble of war, whatever the church went through when Sir Quintus signed up, he had come into the habit of sleeping with his sword. And after what's happened to him tonight, he lays his sword on the bed beside himself.
Absolutely.
Sort of like on the wall side, so that like it couldn't,
yeah.
So the body's protecting it, but it's close by.
Okay. So you drift off to sleep, and as you do so, of course, when you sleep, you do feel dreams come upon you. Now, technically, at the end, that's the end of one scene, and we're going into another scene. So normally you would lose one momentum, but because it's just you playing, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
You don't have anyone else helping to generate.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I think just for those listening at home, that's not in the rules as written. I'm just choosing to implement that for solo play. So you drift off, and of course, with sleep comes dream, and what you dream of is that trail that you came upon, and you find yourself on this massive horse, your horse again, and this time you are riding alone at night along that long trail flanked by high pine trees, a impenetrable wall of them. But through the top of those pines, through the very top, you can see the sky. And unlike the sky as you rode in, this sky is perfectly clear, albeit full of stars. And there is a, not quite risen yet, but the light, there is light being cast from a moon somewhere out of view. But as a result of that, there are deep, long, dark shadows that seem to encircle you as you are riding along with, so I'll top your steed. As you're riding, you can hear the trees creak and sway in the darkness, and you feel, as one often does, you feel that you're having to keep your horse at a trot, because if you started running along this path, you don't think you'd be able to stop. Because at that point, the fear and the unease that you're feeling would just grip you. So you're riding along, and then you hear kind of the sound of wood breaking somewhere off to your right in the deep woods, and it echoes through all the gaps between the massive trees. And your head looks over, and the trees sway again. And then you hear, again, another crash. Something big. You've gone boar hunting before. You maybe even hunted bear. This seems even larger than those sound. You still keep your horse at a trot, I guess. Is that right?
Yeah.
And your horse is, its nostrils flaring, its mouth sort of chomping at the bit and frothing in a state of near panic. And you hear crack, crack, and more cracks in the woods. Your eyes strain big, trying to drink in any amount of detail you can from the darkened woods, but nothing is visible. But you know from the sound and just from your gut feeling that something moves closer. You hear then a low moan that sounds like a massive tree straining against the weight of wind. But then you realize that it is actually a sound of something living out there. And it seems to be getting closer. What do you do?
I look for my bow.
Okay. In the darkness, it's difficult you're having to sort of feel around, and you do feel your bow, and you grab it.
I notch an arrow.
Okay. You notch an arrow. What do you do next?
I keep scanning the tree line for any movement.
Okay. So you notch your arrow, and at that, you then hear a "Whoa!" Something cries out. Your horse startles, and unfortunately, you don't have your hands on the reins at this point, and you're thrown back off your horse and hit heavy against the dirt ground. You can hear your horse thundering off down the trail, but you really can't see it. You also seem to have dropped your bow. So what do? You're flat on your back right now.
I guess I would scramble in the darkness trying to find my bow.
Okay. So you're scrambling around, and at that you hear something is making its way through the woods towards you. Something big, because you can hear like crack, 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 thump, crack, 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 thump, as something moves in closer and closer. You're scrambling around in a panic. You can't find, where is that bow gone? Where has it gone? And you hit a flat surface. It's your shield. Somehow when your horse kicked you off, she must have he must have knocked the shield loose as well.
Well, I pick up my shield and I put it on.
You put the shield on. As you pick up the shield, you then notice that there's just the faintest glow from that crimson phoenix that is emblazoned on your shield. What do you do?
How close is the sound?
Very close, like maybe 20 yards off and moving or closing in on you.
Yeah, so that's only seconds. So I brace myself for something to come through the tree line.
Okay, so you mean you're raising your shield?
Yeah.
Okay, so as this thing is sort of crashing, it seems almost on the verge of crashing through, you bring your shield up, and then there's a flare of flame that completely illuminates the night as the shield is turned towards it. And you hear a of whatever it is in the forest. And you can sense that is being driven back by this gout of flame that erupts from your shield and forms into this shape of a massive winged bird of some kind. And this thing, almost like the weight of the power, is forcing you back. And at that, you are suddenly awake. And so there's a screaming woman somewhere, that the sound of a screaming woman that has awoken you. Your eyes kind of blink twice. You've adjusted to adjust sort of to the darkness. And you realize,
my hand is immediately on my sword.
Well, the first thing you notice is there are 3 men in this room. So, and they're closing in on you. One is almost standing directly on top of you. Okay, so we're going to be going into combat now. Not surprising. So, as is normally the case, heroes go first unless I spend Doom, and I am not spending Doom. Now, there is one card I didn't send you, but I'll hold it up for you, and I'll tell you what you can do. So, one option in this scene. Can you read that?
Yeah, out the window.
So here's how this one works. You start. You have to make a athletics check against a difficulty of 2, and it's a contest. And if you get more successes, then that person goes out the window. They have to make an acrobatics check to try and grab themselves, or they're down.
Okay.
The enemies can do that to you as well.
Okay.
Okay. So you are up first. What would you like to do?
Like I said, my instinct is to immediately grab my sword, and is it complete darkness? Like, I can tell that it's not like Brother Castus, right?
Absolutely. No, it's definitely not him.
Okay, as long as it's not him, then I will strike from.
Well, the other thing is, these guys have daggers in their hands, or at least knives in their hands as well. So,
okay, is there a rule for making an attack from a prone position?
I think I would say it's without looking it up, the difficulty level will be 1 higher.
Okay.
So, but it's a minor action to, it's a bonus action. No, what is it called? Minor action, I think.
Oh yeah, here. Where is this?
Yeah, to stand.
There. Yeah, stand is a minor action. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll stand and strike at the assassin that is closest to me, or the.
Okay. So you jump to your feet and lash out. These dudes are minions, so you will be able to take more than 1 down if you do enough damage. So do you want to give me any Doom, or you want to?
I'm going to use Death Blade.
Okay.
And I will spend 1 momentum, which gives me 2 extra dice, and I will spend 1 fortune point on an auto success.
Awesome. Okay, so that gives you you have netted 2 successes so far.
Yep.
Then go and you're rolling 5 dice.
Yep, on melee.
Yep.
Oh wow! So that is 1, 2, 3 more successes.
Sweet. So you're sitting on 5 successes right now. You only need 1 to hit these guys. What do you want to spend that other 4 points on? Or why don't you roll damage first and then figure out what you want to do?
Right. Okay. I just want to get to the shortcut sheet again. Okay, so damage for the sword is 46. Okay, 3s and 4s are rerolls, right? Yeah.
No, 3s and 4s are zilch, but you can reroll.
Well, they be the ones I reroll with my no mercy.
No mercy, I mean. Yeah.
Okay, so I got a 1, a 2, and 2 6s.
Ooh, okay. So
that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage.
Yep. And I don't think that.
2 effects.
I don't think your sword has any effects, right?
It has parry.
Yeah. I can't remember. Do you have blood on steel? Isn't that the one that allows?
I do have blood on steel now.
Yeah, so you could spend a 1 momentum to give it the vicious quality, which would give you +2 damage.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, that leaves you
with 3 momentum.
3 momentum, then, yeah. So currently you're sitting at
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage.
7 damage. Yeah.
I'll spend the other. I'll spend 2 more on damage to go to 9 damage.
Awesome. Okay.
Spend 1 momentum.
Okay, so you have killed 2 of them and have wounded a 3rd. Why don't you describe for us how that looks?
They just weren't ready for me to have my sword in my bed with me, and so I jump up and I'm just a whirl with this blade and chop the one down quickly through the right through the heart or guts, right into the chest. And then as I pull my sword out, I cleave into the second guy hard, and they're unarmored, so it's quite a blow. And then I just kick the 3rd guy as I'm pulling my blade out of the second guy.
Okay, so he staggers back, and he shouts out. Oh, sorry, is that it for you?
Yeah.
Yep. So he shouts out, "He's awake! The knight is awake!" And then he's going to try and stab you. And
so now I have no armor because I'm my bedclothes.
1, 2, 3. I'm gonna start spending some doom here. So I'll spend 3 doom to gain some extra dice. Not a single success. So this guy has tried to force you out the window. So he's kind of pushing you and shoving you and towards it, but he doesn't really do anything. Then
so how does parry work again?
Parry works only against attacks.
Right. Oh, he was trying to shove me out the window.
Yeah, you would have been able to resist this with, if he had succeeded, you would have been able to resist with the athletics thing, but because I rolled no successes, I'm not terribly concerned. Okay, so then there is another group of 3 of these guys who comes charging in the room. Again, very much the same with daggers and whatnot, and they're gonna they will try and stab you as well. Wait, are they gonna stab? Or I think they're gonna stab. So if you want to make a parry check,
yeah,
go ahead and make a parry.
Okay. So what does it mean if my weapon has parry?
That means, remember, that it reduces the doom cost of your reaction.
Oh, right, I get 1 free parry.
Yeah, or retaliate by 1. So effectively, your first one is free, second one costs 1, third one costs 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So 3, and I'll spend
2 successes on parry.
2 successes. Okay, so I need 3 to win here. Whoopsies. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 successes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, so I've succeeded, which means I do damage. And let's see here. It does 2 points of damage.
On physical, right?
On your vigor. So 2 points of vigor damage, and I'm going to bank that last momentum as doom. Again, try and fill that pool back up again. Okay, so that was the end of that turn. Top of the round, momentum pool goes down by 1. Or you know what? I won't do that for the solo because that's fine. Okay, so end of the round, top of the round. Now you go first unless I spend doom, and I actually am going to spend doom to these minions. All are going to jump on you, or these guys are going to try and wrestle you towards the window. So let's see here. I need 2. Oh, that's weird. 1, 2. Reroll one of these. Okay, so I got. You're going to need to get at least 1 athletics success, or they're going to bear you out the window.
Okay.
So,
athletics or acrobatics?
Athletics.
Athletics. Okay.
The athletics are your physical. You're trying to muscle over these guys.
Okay, no, 0 successes.
Oh no. Okay, so then now I need you to make an acrobatics check. You crash through the window and you're tumbling backwards.
Okay, I'm gonna spend a momentum on this.
Okay, are you trained in acrobatics?
Oh no, I'm not. Oh yeah, I am. Sorry, in acrobatics I am. In athletics, I'm not.
Okay, so you automatically get it. Whatever you roll here will just be momentum.
Oh, okay.
Or you can spend it for a cool effect, actually.
Okay, well, I got 1 success.
So you have 3 net success?
What? Oh.
Yeah, 3 net, right? Because you spend a fortune point plus the 1 you rolled?
No, I spent 1 momentum, not 1 fortune.
Oh, shit. Okay, then you needed 2.
Oh, okay.
You want to spend a fortune point and buy those last 2?
Yeah, I think I will then. Yeah.
Okay. So you got 1 net, and what I'll say is that you don't drop your sword.
Okay.
So you're sort of hanging from one arm outside the window, and you look down at the muddy. I'm trying to think where you would be facing. I think you're facing out back. So maybe there's like a wood shed or like a pile of wood underneath you that wouldn't be pleasant to fall on. What do you do? It's your turn.
So I'm down. I landed on the ground.
No, you're hanging from the window from one arm.
Oh, okay. Is there any? Oh, and you're saying it would be unpleasant to fall.
It would be unpleasant to fall onto that. No, I mean you're not. It's not a fatal fall, but you may injure yourself somehow.
Is there anywhere I could swing to or get to from this window?
Yeah,
like,
probably.
Without trying to climb back in.
To not go back in, you could probably, like, if you made a successful acrobatics, you could probably land without injuring yourself. It's just if you had fallen out of here, it wouldn't have been.
Okay, I will try to fall to the ground.
Okay, so go ahead and make an acrobatics check. Acrobatics check for me.
Okay, nope, 0.
0. Okay, so you're going to take some damage from that fall. You take 2 points of damage again, and when you hit the ground, you're prone, and you have the wind knocked out of you. I rolled an effect, so you had the wind knocked out of you. If you want to act next round, you're going to have to give me a doom. It's next round. You're up first before them. I'm not spending doom for them to go. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I'll give you a doom to actually act this round.
Okay, what are you going to do?
Get up from prone, get my sword again, and you said I'm on the back now, right? I'm going to head in that back door.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to go check that back door and see if it's open.
Okay. So you race over to the back door, and it turns out it's actually open. There is a lock on it, but it is open.
Okay, I'm heading in then through the back door.
Okay. You can hear the sounds of someone shouting as you sort of get to that door and throw yourself in. There's sounds of people shouting in there. Where are you going? You're into that. That's the inside there. You're in the larder. There doesn't appear to be anyone in here. It's pitch black.
I'm going to from the darkness peek out into the main room that this opens into.
Okay. Why don't you make a stealth check for me? And I'm going to give you +1 momentum from that. Or no. Well, I'm going to give you +1 dice.
Because of the darkness.
Because of the darkness, exactly.
I'm not stealthy, but at least I'm not wearing my noisy armor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's 1 success because of my agility's 10.
Okay. No complications?
No.
Okay. So you creep slowly along this darkened corridor, and you can hear people talking, and they're in sort of muffled tones. They're like, well, where is he? We've got the others. Where did he go? Find him. Get out there. Get outside. And they'll go racing downstairs. And you see there's actually a couple of guys who look like they're going to be like towards where you are as well. They don't see you yet, but
okay, I'm going to wait until they're close, and I'm going to jump out of the darkness and attack them.
Okay. I will point out that this may be an opportunity for you to use that knife to the throat display of might.
Right.
Because it stuns and it's vicious, and it does 4d 4 combat dice of damage. It just requires a sharp weapon held against a previously unaware foe.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're right. I could try that. Except I have to I can use melee to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's try it. That's a fun thing to try.
Okay. So you sort of stalk back further into the shadows. One of the guys goes running right past you, and the second one comes running up, and then you're going to try and do your thing.
Yeah, try and grab him and put my blade to his throat.
Okay. So go ahead and make your melee check.
Okay. I will use a momentum.
Yep.
And roll. Melee. That is 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay.
I don't know what I need.
Yeah. How's that for combat music?
It's good.
That's great. Okay, so you jump in and grab this guy, pull him back. Is your sword at his throat or what?
Yeah, my sword is actually right at his throat.
Okay, so you hit then. You said there was 1 success or 2?
2.
2. That means you got 1 momentum right now. Roll damage for it. It's 4 combat dice. Do you have any bonuses to your personality attacks?
No.
Nope. Okay, so let's go ahead and roll 4 combat dice.
Okay.
This is both stun and vicious. So for each...
I got 2 effects. I got a 5 and a 6.
Awesome. So this does... so that's 4 damage. And is that it? Is that all you rolled?
Yeah. The other ones were 3.
Okay. So, so that's 4 damage. So you've broken this guy's resolve. He just kind of is completely, putty in your hands. What do you do?
I whisper in his ear. I said, "Who are you?"
Oh, you know what? Hold on. I need you to spend that 1 point to get piercing, because these guys are fanatics, so their courage is quite high.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. So there's no momentum. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you dump remember that. Okay, so this is another thing we fucked up last time we played. Each momentum spent gives you 2 points of piercing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's why it's useful. Otherwise, you just dump it into damage, right?
Right.
So yeah, you jump in and pull this guy back. This is a. To be honest, he looks like a shopkeep of some kind. He's got a little bit of scruff on his face. He's got a leather cap on his head. Why
are you attacking me?
You got to be. You were offerings.
Foolish. So I'll there's still more guys out in the main area, right? Or no?
Yep. Yeah, there's still maybe like 2 or 3 guys who are talking in sort of the main hearth area.
So I'll head out with this guy held with the sword to his throat and walk out into the main area.
Okay. So you walk out there and okay, so what are you trying to do here? Are you trying to like keep these guys at bay or what? Or intimidate them?
Well, I want to talk to them, but
okay.
I'm seeing this as like a human shield and slash, like threat.
That is
like when I talk to them, you'll see I'm going to say, you care anything for the life of your friend, you'll drop your weapons.
I love it. I get to use my hostage card again.
Yeah, it's a hostage.
Okay, so the difficulty of all your physical actions are by 1, but you've got 5d6 cover. It counts as shield 1, and it's fearsome 1.
Sweet.
Yeah, so you walk out, and this guy is, he's just going along with you completely. You've completely shattered his will. You're obviously a seasoned combat veteran. This guy's a coward who tries to murder in the dark. So you walk out into the room, and these 3 guys sort of all see you, and they all spin around. And they're all carrying these knives or hatchets or whatever, like just basically like tools. And they say, "You release him.
If you care at all for the life of your friend, you'll drop your weapons now."
They say no. It's you. You cannot. You cannot deny his will.
Well, then you will all die here tonight, and I behead their friend.
Awesome. Wah, and kill him. Yeah. So he drops down dead. I know you're not going to bother to roll for that.
No.
Next round. Okay, so there's those 3 dudes. I'm going to spend 1 doom as they charge in on you.
Okay.
Do you want to parry?
Yeah, I want to parry.
Okay.
And I will spend my momentum to roll an extra dice.
Awesome. Okay. Let's roll for them. I got 2 successes.
I got 2 successes on parry.
Awesome. Okay, so that nets you 1 momentum. Do you have retaliate?
No, I don't retaliate.
Okay.
I just knock aside their hatchet and their dagger.
Yeah. So they come in, and you're just keeping them at a distance. Your turn. What would you like to do?
I'm going to attack the ferocious, the fiercest looking one.
Awesome. That would be probably the guy with the hatchet. He's he looks like maybe like a woodsman.
Woodcutter or somebody. Yeah. Okay, and I will spend my momentum to attack and roll. Melee, there we are. So, oh wow. Okay, that's a 1. So that's 2 successes, 4 successes.
Wow. So what do you want to spend your momentum on?
Well, I will spend 1 on vicious. Well, I guess I'll roll damage first.
Yeah, roll damage. Let's see. So you got 3 momentum to play with.
Okay, re-roll this. Okay, that's still nothing. But I will. Well, it's the same difference if I spend on vicious or spend to increase the damage. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 damage so far.
Okay.
And 3 momentum left?
3 momentum left. No, 2 momentum left because you rolled 4 successes, and one of them was for a vicious. Oh no, you haven't. So you haven't spent that.
I haven't spent that yet.
Yeah, so you have 3 momentum.
Yeah, I'll bank 1 and put 2 more damage in. So that's 6 damage total.
6 damage total. Okay. So one of the guys goes down, and you give a vicious slash across the gut of another. And
I'm trying to sort of use some of my most flourishy attacks against these sort of untrained fighters to sort of maybe instill a little bit of fear in them.
Okay. So that's the end of the round. Then it's top of the round. I'm not spending Doom this time, so you can go again.
Okay. I'll again spend my momentum.
Okay.
Roll. 1, 2, 3, 4 successes again.
Awesome.
Damage. Reroll. 12. Okay, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage.
Okay. 5 damage. Ooh. If you spend 1 momentum, you'll kill them both.
Okay, done.
Okay. So what does that describe for us? How that looks? This whirlwind of steel and gore.
Yeah, like I said, it's just, he's using like very large flourishes. Like he's sort of knocking their weapons, out, not necessarily out of their hands, but like pushing them in an awkward direction by, chopping their little dagger and sort of spinning the guy, and then, sword right through the ribs.
Yeah.
Like these are killing blows. These are, it's like watching an MMA fighter, wade through average citizens. They're just knockout punches or whatever there.
Absolutely. It's a farmer, scything wheat. So these men, flurry of violence and blood. These men lie dying on the floor of the tavern. You get a moment to catch your breath. There doesn't appear to be any more assailants who are immediately coming on you. So you recover all your. You can recover all your vigor.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. What are you gonna do?
Just a second. I run upstairs. I'm assuming by what they said that already everyone else, like Brother Castus and the lady and her knight, are gone.
Correct.
Is my armor in the room?
Your armor is still in the room, yeah.
Okay, I take the time to put my armor on and strap my shield on and head down the stairs.
Okay. You head down the stairs basically in time for that one guy who went out the back that you let go. He's come back, sort of standing in shock, looking at his friends or his neighbors on the floor, and then he looks up at you and sees you striding down the stairs in full armor, your shield, your sword, and he kind of turns and sprints out the door.
Okay.
So what do you want to do?
Head out of the inn and into the night and see if I can see any action going on anywhere.
Okay. Let's see here. You run. Are you running or are you walking out the door?
He just sort of like quickly walk. It's a quick walk. It's not exactly a run, and it's not a normal walk. It's like a quick paced walk.
Okay. So why don't you make a observation check for me, please?
Okay. Actually, and his armor's noisy and he's noisy, so he's not being stealthy at all. He's actually calling out, "Brother Castus!" And I can't remember the other two characters' name.
Their names are Octavia and Sir Carthus.
Octavia! Sir Carthus! So he's calling their names out, hoping that they'll respond.
Yeah, and you hear, as you walk in the night, let's see what you see here.
I got 1 success.
1 success. Okay. You can't actually see where that guy ran to.
Okay. Is there still a torch outside the inn?
There are still. Yeah, you're sort of. That's the only thing you hear right now is this, the sort of the sound of burning fires behind you on those torches.
Okay, I sheath my sword and I grab one of the torches off the wall of the inn and I start walking through the town, heading towards the town center.
Okay, well, the town center is sort of where this place is. So,
okay.
Yeah, you step out there and there's nothing. There's no one. Like you make a sort of a circle around the
I'm actually banging on people's doors with the torch.
Yeah, no answer. It's as if the entire town has left, banging around. And then, why don't you make one more? So what was your observation roll before?
1 success.
1 success. Okay, so you're looking around, and then you.
If I notice that there's no one there, Kev, I go to check if the horses are in the stable.
Okay, so you walk back, and yeah, the horses are well, actually all four horses are still there.
Do they seem spooked or anything?
Yeah, I mean they seem pretty worked up.
Okay. Wonder. I don't know enough about horses. Are they better trackers than maybe a knight with no observation skills?
It can't. If nothing else, well, yes. I mean, they are, because if you can watch the way a horse reacts, you can read.
So I untie Old Faithful, and we head back out into the streets together.
Yeah, so you're riding on, trotting along. Your horse kind of snorts, like it does not want to be here.
Right.
You stroke its side of its mane to calm it down, and you're looking around, and then you realize something. Off to your left, remember the town is built in a bit of a hollow, right?
Yeah.
To your left, away from the direction of the road, there is an orange glow off in the woods.
I'll ride hard towards the orange glow.
Okay, so you start ba-doom, 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 riding off towards that, and
I'm just gonna take a quick leak.
yeah. Okay, so while we do that, I will change the scene here. And I will change the music too.
Wait, I'm still gonna refill my drink. So did they bring the music back into Roll20?
They did.
Nice.
I actually have the almost the entire soundtrack of stuff that I had set up for our Star Wars game back in the game again. So fucking awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's a really cool feature. I mean, like obviously you can't blare it all the time, right? Because you can't hear what the other person's saying.
Right.
But I think for certain cue points, and then even there were some ambient sounds that we used in our Shadow of the Demon Lord game that were really fucking cool.
Yeah.
You know, like sound of dungeons dripping or like tree swaying or stuff like that. So love it. Okay, so this is where I think you see on the screen we have changed.
Yeah.
This is where you are now. We're riding along through the darkened woods, and at this point, the sky has cleared, and while not high in the sky, the moon seems to be at least casting some light through this, and you see as you're moving through those through the trees, there's an orange glow ahead that gets stronger as you get closer, and you're just. Would you make excuse me, animal handling check for me, please.
Okay.
Where is my? I'm gonna grab my. Hold on. Second
Actually,
copy.
my best skill.
That's your best skill.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I'm going to give you a doom and roll one extra die.
Yay! I love Doom.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes on 3 dice.
Holy shit! So the difficulty was only 2, which means you got 3 momentum.
Perfect. That's exactly what I need going into this scene.
Yeah. Okay.
Me and Old Faithful are kind of in our glory. It's been too long since we've been in battle together, and I think one of the things that I said sort of about Quintus was like, you know, the bloodshed was actually one of the things that he liked about being conscripted into fighting for the church.
Yeah.
And so killing them, even though they were not innocent, but they were lowly villagers, just sort of reignited the spark, the warrior spark in Sir Quintus.
Awesome. Okay, so so here's what you, as you're charging up, are you just gonna like get right into wherever it is, you know, regardless of whatever's you come upon, or are you planning on like trying to exercise a modicum of stealth here?
Well, there's kind of no such thing as stealth for Sir Quintus, so.
Okay, so what happens is you go basically charging up your. If this was the movie version, what we would see is that there is this clearing, and in the middle of this clearing, there is a giant flaming bonfire, and around that bonfire, there are massive stones, big menhirs that stand around, and on those menhirs there are carvings that date back to perhaps even before the time of Nemedia itself. And lashed to 3 of these are Brother Castus, Octavia, and Carthus. Brother Castus and Sir Carthus look kind of bloodied, as if they've been beaten a little bit as well. And then away from around the circle of the bonfire are effectively the entire village. Tons of these people have collected around there, and they're all chanting. And we see then, so this one, all of them are wearing, actually, they're probably not wearing anything. They're wearing clothes, but they're wearing their normal clothes, all sort of chanting and whatever. And there is one robed figure who is ahead of them. Wears this long, like kind of like off, like a dirty gray kind of robe, clearly a ceremonial type thing. And he has a big hood up on, and he has a dagger in one hand and a much larger carved version of that crude figure that you saw from before. Right. This appears to be a sort of hunched, it's like a crude replica of man made of gnarled trees and such. He holds him up and calls, and he turns around, and you see, of course, that it is Agron, with his long white beard, his mustache, and his darkened eyes. He kind of cries out and says that he will, joins in with the chanting of them. And then he points at the Lady Octavia, and the crowd sort of charges. And at that moment, we hear ba-dum, 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 and then through the darkened woods, crashing into this crowd, comes Sir Quintus astride his mighty Nemedian destrier. Let me quickly add one thing. Here's what I was mentioning before that I think I can do in future sessions. Check this out. Let me know if this is cool or not. You ready? Bump, 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 bum.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so what, I'm not sure if you can read that. Let me, oh, you know what? Let me go to the right layer here. If I do that, I'll move this over a bit. Okay.
Oh,
that is a mine.
Pushed over. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can, oh, that's awesome. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking of doing in future is for situational shit. I'll just scan them in or take pictures of them and then just incorporate them in here. So it's as close to like.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, the men here is standing there. Any of those things can be with, like it says there, athletics, difficulty 4 check. You'll push it over, and then those underneath must make a acrobatics 3 difficulty 3 check, or they suffer 10 damage. That has grapple and knockdown effects. And I think it has. I'm also going to say it's got vicious. I couldn't fit it in the card, but
yeah. Okay. Right. It's vicious if they see. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, it's just like that. It would just do a god awful amount of damage. I think, did I give you your horse's stats as well on your?
Yeah, I have my horse's stats.
Sweet. Okay, great. Okay, so you come charging in here. They turn, and one of Agron cries out, "Infidel! Slay him!"
I yell. Your pagan rituals, as well as you all die tonight. The blade and shield of Mitra have arrived, and I bang my sword on my shield.
Oh, yes, one other thing you can do. I forgot. I didn't scan this one in either, but the burning brand.
Oh, yeah.
Right? That's something you can do here. You can grab a stick out of the fire, and what it has, it's got the, it's like a slightly wussier club, but it does have the incendiary trait on it, incendiary 2.
Oh, you can burn people. Okay.
Yeah. So okay. So the you go charging in, and then in sort of a like almost maddened state, Agron turns to you and says, "No, the Darkwalker comes, and you will be his first victim." And at that, you sort of can hear the trees all sort of rattle and rustle and whatnot. And now it's your turn. What are you doing?
I will ride Old Faithful. I'll try and sort of like right into the crowd towards Aegir.
Towards Agron?
Agron, yeah, Agron.
Okay. So what I think you're going to do then is you're going to charge on your steed.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a, so what you first need to do is you make an average, so difficulty 1 animal handling test.
Okay, I will spend 1 momentum on this.
Okay, what's the reach of you got your sword out, right? So the reach is, I think, 2. Okay, great. So that's the only reason, if the defender's weapon has a greater reach than yours, it's more difficult for you to do this.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are spending 1 momentum on that?
Yep.
Cool.
And that is 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
4 successes, sweet. So that's 3 more than what you needed, which means you can spend that momentum to gain, for each momentum spent, you gain a bonus D20 and a bonus combat dice on your attack.
Nice. I will do that.
And for 1 momentum, you can add the knockback quality to the attack.
Oh.
Or you can spend 1 momentum to make a single additional attack with your mount's attack. It's the horse's thing. So those are the 3 things you can do. Each momentum you spend, which is repeatable, 1d20 to your roll, plus 1 combat dice to damage. Or you can add knockback to it. Or you can have your horse do a... Or no, it's not or. You know, if you've got enough momentum, you can do all those things. But
right, I think I'll do the extra d20s and the extra dice of damage.
Okay, and that's with all 3?
Yeah.
Sweet. So effectively you're rolling 5 dice already.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make your... So I think that there are a crowd of people you need to get through to get to Agron first.
Yeah. So it'll be like how much damage I can do is like wading my way to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Really? So it doesn't, I believe. So 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
4 successes, nice. They're minions, so they're not going to defend. So that gives you 3 momentum right now. And you're rolling 3 extra dice of damage plus whatever you normally roll.
Is there a limit to it?
No, not with damage.
Okay, so I need to get an extra dice out.
Okay.
Just a second. All right. Cool. Charge is cool.
Charge is super badass.
I mean, it makes sense. It's a warlord. Okay. Oh, wow. That is an amazing roll. I didn't roll a single 3 or a 4.
Wow.
2 5s, 2 6s, 2 2s, and a 1.
Wow.
So can I make this vicious?
You can if you spend your, because you got 3 momentum right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so you still have 2 momentum left over.
Okay. So, oh, the horse has vicious too. Okay, that's good to know. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 damage right now.
Whoa. Okay, so you carved your way through 3 of these guys, or one little group of them. Why don't you describe for us what's happened there?
That is just like, they are not ready for a knight, a trained knight, wielding his sword, wading through them again. It's just like the villagers in the inn.
Yeah.
Sir Quintus is just a precision killing machine. It is just like beheading. Like he is just like, they're defenseless essentially.
That's brutal. Okay, so you go charging through them, and yeah, you're cutting a bloody swath. You still have 2 momentum left over. Did you want to bank that, or do you want to use that for something?
Could I do that to do a split? Can I do like a secondary target attack?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can do secondary target. Spend I think it's 2, isn't it? And they'll take half damage.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So that is awesome. So another 2 of the guys you've carved down 5 of these cultists already.
Wow.
Okay. So their turn now. All right. So there's 2 guys. Oh, there's only 1 left who can really. He comes charging in, and he's gonna try and pull. Oh, okay. Do you want to defend?
Yeah. Can I parry for my horse?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You're with your shield.
Okay. That is 2 successes.
Okay. So excuse me. That is not enough for this guy. He comes in with a little like a butcher's knife. And you're easily able to batter him aside.
Yeah, I use my shield and batter him aside.
And then the Agron strides forward again. And he says, "You infidel! You will feed his roots." And he's going to be shooting you. Yeah, it's an old steely glare he's shooting at you. So I'll dump some momentum in here because I think he's kind of scary. And let's see your social one. Okay, yeah. All right, let's see how he does. 1, 2, 3. Wow. Okay, so I got 4 successes on that. I only need 1 to affect you. Let's see what he does here. That is, fortunately, no effects because it would stun otherwise. You take 3 resolve.
Okay.
Actually, I got 3 momentum. You know what? I'm going to dump that extra 3 momentum into the Doom pool. That's it. You can tell with the level of fanaticism in his voice. That he means it. Something is imminent. Something approaches. Okay, next round. your turn. So top of the round, you go first unless I spend Doom, and I'm trying to decide here. I think I will for Agron. So he's going to go first. And he's going to rally and spend 2 Doom. So he says, "Get him! Bring him down so that he might feed the walker." And what he's effectively done is he's given an extra dice to the cultists, and another 6 guys come chasing in on you, and they are going to try and drag you off the horse. Do you want to parry?
Yes.
Okay. So do for the first one, it costs you nothing. Is the shield a shield 2?
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so that you've got 2, 3 defenses with a shield then.
So that's 2 successes on the parry.
Fine. Actually, you know what? I did roll enough.
Okay.
So the 3 of them come clamoring on you. Now you can spend a fortune point if you want to get 2 successes to negate that.
They're gonna try and pull me off the horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll spend a fortune point to add
Okay.
to.
That nets you once momentum because you only need 1. So why don't you describe us how that prevents it? There's 3 of these guys, driven to a ecstatic craze at the sound of Agron's voice, and there's like just nothing but grappling arms trying to pull you off. And how do you stop?
I'm using the edge of my shield, and I'm wrapping it onto their forearms and their hands as they try and grab onto the horse.
Oh God,
it's
brutal.
like, it's brutal. It's like, again, it's just they've never fought an armed knight like this, knowing what he's doing and just sort of just working them over.
That's a great description. I'll give you a fortune point for that. Now you got 1 more defense. Go ahead and roll that because there's the other group coming in.
So this one you get a Doom for.
No, because you got shield 2.
Yeah.
Which means it reduces the Doom cost by 2. This is only the second attack.
Oh.
Yeah, so it costs you nothing still.
Okay, that is 1 success.
1 success. Okay, this is enough to you managed to keep them all at bay, but they're all surrounding your horse. Old Faithful is kind of reining up, trying to get away from these guys. That's all the ones I'm going to go with for now. Your turn.
Okay, I'm going to attempt to use Stain the Soil Red.
Okay.
So I've slain 5 enemies, I believe.
Yes, you have. Yeah. Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to raise my sword. So after using my shield to sort of bash them all away from my horse, I'm going to raise my bloody sword above my head, and I'm going to say, if any of you want to keep your heads, I suggest you flee into the darkness now.
Okay. Go ahead and make your, I think it's a melee check, isn't it? A melee check?
Yeah. So I'm going to spend a momentum on this.
Okay.
That is 1, 2, 3 successes. I think
3 successes. Okay. So it nets you 2 momentum.
Okay, and it's X dice, so that's 5 dice.
Yeah. And the 2 momentum would be good. These guys currently have a courage of 3, so you may want to.
So I'll use piercing.
Yeah. So if you did piercing, if you dump both those into piercing, they'll have no courage. They'll just take all of it strictly as resolve, whatever you roll.
For penetration. Is that what it is?
What is it?
What it's called?
For penetrate. Yeah. What did I say? Piercing.
Piercing. Piercing is an effect on a weapon, isn't it?
No. Oh yeah. Sorry. You're right. Yeah.
I think it's called piercing or penetration. Sorry.
Is the
attack by the current attack ignores an amount so equal to twice the moment.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow! Another good roll. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage.
5 damage. Okay, so all 7 of these guys who are left scream in spite of the maniacal and fanatical cries of Agron. These all just they scatter before you. You are so terrifying, charging, rearing up, your sword gleaming in the reflected light from the bonfire. They go racing off into the darkness, and in fact, the entire sort of collection of them do that, leaving you and Agron and your captive allies. So, what are it's end of the round, top of the round? What are you going to do? It's either you go or I go with Agron. I can spend a doom. I'm going to spend 1. No, I'm going to sit on doom. You go first, and then I'll go.
I put my sword at him and I say to him, I warned you that lying to me would be a bad mistake, and I'll charge him.
Nice. Yeah, I think he's 1 zone away, so you'll have an opportunity to charge. So go ahead and make your animal handling check.
I'll spend 1 momentum on this. That is 1, 2 successes.
Okay. He does get a chance to parry, which he will. So you'd assume that these guys will be parrying. I'm going to spend 1 doom for that.
And I will go on momentum if he doesn't parry this to increase my roll with a d20 and a damage of dice.
You're doing which? Sorry.
The 1 bonus d20 on the attack skill test and 1 CD to damage.
Oh yeah, from the thing. Oh, sorry, that was your animal handling test, right? Not your attack. Yeah. Oh, okay. Right. Yeah, great. Okay, so that's good.
I'll spend the last momentum on this roll. So this is my actual attack roll now. This is where he parries. All right, 1, 2, 3 successes.
3 successes. He rolled nothing on his parry, so he tries to bring that dagger up, but I mean, he is just not at your skill level. Your sword cuts underneath and digs deep into his flesh. Go ahead and roll damage.
Oh my!
And you got 2 momentum then.
I rolled 4 6s and a 5.
Holy shit!
If this was actually just dice total, that is almost max damage on 5 dice.
What are you spending that 1 momentum on?
Well, I might as well spend it on vicious because that makes this 10 damage.
Yeah. So how much damage did he take?
10.
Holy shit! Okay, so you have sufficiently injured him. Basically, you cut right through him, and he kind of makes this whimper and then collapses down in a heap, and you sort of turn around. And that is
that something is coming, so I, as quickly as possible, start trying to cut my my friends down.
Okay, so you go riding over, and who do you start with?
I think I'm duty bound to set the lady free first. Actually, I set her man free first.
Okay.
Tell him to cut her down, and then I go help Brother Castus.
Yeah, you're not going to have enough time to do both of those. So what happens? You go riding over, and you cut Sir Carthus free, and he sort of drops down. He says, "You should have," and he's trying to say something to you, and that's when you hear, just outside the clearing, outside of the firelight, this whoa, that same moaning, creaking sound. I can't do it because I'm going to start coughing like crazy. But from just outside the woods, and your horse kind of whinnies up, and you have to stop in place. You look over, and then what you see crashing through the woods is this vaguely humanoid. It's like a humanoid form put together incorrectly. It walks with this herky-jerky kind of motion. It stands about 15 feet tall. It is long, with gnarled and twisting limbs covered in a dark bark with little rivulets of sap of a dark, thick color that reflects in the light cast by the what do you call it? By the bonfire, and it jerks forward and looks up in this kind of herky-jerky manner, as if like lifting its head on a broken neck.
Yeah.
And this thing looks at you with 6 eyes, and its mouth opens, and very humanoid teeth, white in color, shining in the reflected light, which looks like that.
Oh.
And it cries out at you, and you hear Octavia scream as if a firebrand was touched to her skin. You can hear Brother Castus crying out desperate prayers to Mitra, and even Carthus stands frozen in place, rooted by fear. Let's see how you do. So this thing, let me just double check the rules for this. So this thing gains a chunk of doom to start the scene. It also, so I need you to make a discipline check for me, please. The difficulty on this is 3. Now, do you want to give me any doom to bolster that roll?
Yep, you can have a doom, and I will spend a momentum.
Okay.
Actually, you can have 2 doom.
And 2 doom, nice. Okay.
Nope. Unfortunately, I have rolled 2 successes.
Ooh, 1 shy. Okay. So, so this thing, as it's sort of, you know, its teeth, you know, open up and snarl at you. You're going to take, let's see here. Oh boy. Oop. There's something to be said for not rolling physical dice, I guess, is that I'm less likely to lose the damn things. All right, so what do we got here? 1, 2, that's 5, 6, 7. You take 7 resolve.
Oh my god. Okay, well that knocks me totally down.
Okay, so that means how far does it go past your?
Yeah, it puts me 1 over.
Okay, so let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you're actually suffering from 2 traumas then, because you suffer. Yeah, 1 trauma from taking more than 5 at one time, plus another one from going up. Now remember, you can spend a fortune to ignore those for a scene.
Mm.
It's only to mental checks, so it's really only if this thing, if you have to make mental checks again. But yeah, this thing is going to haunt your dreams for the rest of your natural life.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to spend a doom for this to go first. And faster than you think this thing would be possible, it just you know, jerks forward, and it Sir Carthus kind of it puts his hands up to try and protect himself. It crashes down into him, and it sinks. Its roots seem to, like, you know, grow out. Its fingers dig into him, and then these roots dig into him, and he kind of it twitches. You hear Lady Octavia scream out, "No!" And he then lies still, and you can see the roots on this thing's across this thing's surface that knot up to make the crude hands. they seem to be like twitching and writhing as if, you know, undulating and sucking something out of him. What do you do?
Are these burning brand is just like a big stick out of the big fire.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, because I mean this thing is clearly some kind of tree monster.
Yep.
I've seen roots. The guy mentioned roots. I guess I jump off of Old Faithful.
Okay.
And I try to run over to the fire to grab a suitable burning log.
Okay. So you go racing over there. Are you going to sheathe your sword then?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'll let you do all that in one. Yeah, because it's a bonus to get down, a bonus to. I think you got one. You're going to be over at the fire right now. I think you're one shy. You're about to grab one of those brands. Just because it's a free action to grab something, but you need a bonus to get off the horse. You need a bonus to sheath the weapon.
Maybe I wouldn't. I would just drop my sword then. Maybe.
Cool. Yeah. Then that's what you've done. You cast your sword down. You grab the brand. You turn it around, and almost echoing what you had seen before, the brand held before you, which is glowing and dancing with flames on the end, is reflected off of the shield or the phoenix on your shield, and this thing kind of twists back. So
I'm holding my shield close to me, and I'm holding the burning brand in front of the shield.
Okay, awesome.
So that it's actually lighting up the phoenix on my shield.
Okay, so this thing, it positions itself back. It strides to the side, it's trying to circle around you, and then it is going to leap it and try and hit you with that same savage blow. Do you wish us to parry?
Absolutely.
Are you parrying with the shield or with the brand?
With my shield.
Okay.
And you can have a doom.
I can have a doom. Okay, thank you.
Roll 3 dice. Okay. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 successes, actually.
Okay, that is awesome. So it does still manage to connect. I spent some doom on its attack roll as well, but it gets no momentum. It just manages to connect through with that vicious strike. So let me. Oh fuck! I need extra d6s. Hold on. Ow. I should have planned ahead. Fucking Bush League DM. Would you bring your own dice? There we go. All right. So let's roll damage here. Remember, you get to roll your cover as well for your shield.
Right, so it gives me two dice of defense against it, which is one damage.
5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Oh no. Okay. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 6 points of damage as this thing hammers against you. So apply your appropriate soak.
Yeah. So that's 1, and then where's it hitting me?
And then you also it's hit so hard you're actually going to be knocked down unless you give me 2 doom.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
Okay.
So I lose it. There's a total of 4. So would you say 6 damage? So I take 2.
You take 2 then. That's right. Yeah. But you steal your what do you call it? Your sinews, and you're sort of knocked back along the wet grass. But this thing, you have not. What do you call it? You have not been driven off your feet. The strength of Mitra fills your muscles. Okay, so that is I think the end of the round. Or I spent a doom to go first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so your turn. What are you doing?
I'm going to use the burning brand and strike this thing.
Awesome. Okay.
Was it a melee attack?
It is a melee attack. That's right.
Okay, I'll give you a doom.
Okay.
And I will use a fortune point on this attack.
Nice. Okay, this thing will try to parry. I got a bunch of dooms to spend here too.
So I have 5 successes with the fortune point.
That's awesome. Okay, I rolled shit. I got 2. No, I got 1 success.
Okay, so that means I have 3 left over.
You have 3 left over. That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, so 2 damage.
Okay.
Does.
2 damage. That's right. And then it's got incendiary 2. So for
So I rolled 2 effects. So it's 2 damage, but it's a 5 and a 6. So I don't know if the effects matter on the torch or not.
they do, yeah, because that's how you trigger incendiary.
Okay.
So at the end of the target's turn, it'll suffer 2 dice in physical damage, ignoring soak.
Okay, so I rolled 2 effects. So it has currently incendiary 4 on them.
Hold on, how does that work?
Target gains the burning X equal to the incendiary X condition for the number of effects rolled in rounds. Can be cleared as per the burning X condition.
Okay, target gains burning equal to the...
So you would have burning 4, because this is incendiary 2, and I rolled 2 effects.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. And this thing, that sticky sap that seemed to be in its deeper parts, or in the crevices of its barky hide, that shit goes up like like oil in a lantern. So yeah, a good section of him, or it, has just flared into life. However, its hide is quite tough. But this is now the end of the round. So why don't you roll the 4 damage on it?
Oh, it's 4 damage dice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I would have 2 momentum left.
You got 2 momentum left? Okay, I'll add it in here.
Use the... Okay, that is 3 damage.
Damage again, nice.
And that, does it say it ignores your soak?
Okay.
Yeah, it ignores soak.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. So this thing is screeching, howling in pain. Okay, next round. I am going to spend a doom to have it go again. Because this thing is furious and wants to kill you. This thing has walked or strode across these forests for longer than men have lived in these lands. It will not fall to you. But let's see if it does. Chew. Do you wish to parry?
You do wish to parry, and I will give you 2 doom.
2 doom, got it. Okay.
1, 2, 3 successes.
2. Awesome. Okay, so this thing again brings its hand around and or what passes for a hand and smashes down, but you get your shield up in time and batter this thing aside. Okay, your turn. What are you gonna do?
I'm going to attack it again with burning brand.
Okay.
So
I'll roll the parry for it. I'm gonna spend 1 on that. It feebly brings its hand up to try and keep the bringer of pain away from it.
1, 2, 3. 3 successes.
That is enough. Yeah, you got 2 momentum. I rolled terrible for his parry.
Okay, so then that does 2 dice. Nothing.
No?
No.
Remember, you can spend momentum to re-roll.
Oh, wait, it's a melee attack. I can re-roll that with my no mercy.
Yep.
It's still melee, even if it's a brand.
Absolutely. Yep.
Oh, there we go. That's 2 damage and another effect.
Nice. Okay. So there's another area. Okay, so the blunting, the force of the strike doesn't seem to get past it. Like it's like hitting an old tree.
Right. It's like banging a log against a tree.
But would you kindly now roll 6 dice in burning damage?
Nice. Oh wow, that's pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. So, like, more than half of this thing is ablaze at this point. You brought its hand. It's a giant, burning man, I suppose. Okay, so that's the end of the round. Top of the round. I'm gonna let you go first, and then I'll go with him afterwards.
Okay. I will use.
I changed my mind. Sorry, I am gonna go with him because I got something else in mind.
Okay, sure.
Sorry, okay, so I'll do that, and then I will. I've only got 2 doom left right now. So I will. Fuck it, I'll use this stuff here. This thing takes a couple steps back, and then it just focuses its evil ill will on you. It's one of its eyes kind of pops from the heat of the flames looking at its face, and it howls at you with an unholy anguish. Let's see how he does. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I rolled 3 and I rolled a complication. So this thing just kind of, lurches forward at you and screams out to do another, attack on your soul effectively. And let's see here. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like you take another trauma.
Yep.
Okay. And this thing, however, the complication, would you kindly roll 2d6 for me or roll another combat dice? And it's going to take that in fire damage.
Okay. 1.
1. Okay. So it's another one. Now it's your turn.
This brand seems to be working good. I will attempt to light him on fire.
Okay.
That is 2 successes, but I rolled a complication.
Oh, I'll take that in doom because I'm empty right now.
Okay. So let me roll this. That is 1 more damage, no new fire. So.
Okay. So you're sitting on 2 momentum right now, right? So you could spend. This thing has an armor of 4, so you could spend 2 to get piercing. So 2 are penetrating.
Right, but it's only for 1 damage right now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
What a good roll.
Okay. So then would you kindly roll 6 dice of burning?
1, 2, 3 more burning damage.
Okay. So this is it's still being engulfed in these flames. Okay, so at the start of the next round, would you like to go? I'm not going to spend doom to go.
Okay, I'll spend momentum on this attack.
Okay. How much? 1 or 2?
Just 1.
Just 1. Okay.
1, 2, 3 successes this time.
Yep.
And roll damage.
Oh, sorry. I got to roll. I guess I got to roll parry for it.
Oh, right.
I do parry 1, so you've got 1 net success.
Okay, and I have 2 effects again this time.
Nice. Okay.
2 damage.
Okay, so the effects are, why don't you roll 10 dice for me oh no, it gets to go first. And then it's burning. So it's going to try and hit you again. Why don't you make your parry check?
Okay. I have a momentum left. 3. Oh shit! Dropped the dice. That is 3 successes.
Amazing. Okay, so this thing only it doesn't get enough to get through your defenses again. So this thing, it's
the shield with the phoenix.
Okay, and as the thing batters in and hits you, some of some of this thing's sticky sap attaches to the shield, and your shield is now emblazoned and in a flame.
Ooh.
So, end of the round, would you kind of roll 10d6 for burning damage for me?
All right. Holy. Okay, I rolled up L. Fuck ton of 2s.
Yeah, nice.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12 damage.
Ooh. You have 1 momentum sitting in the pool. Would you like to spend that? Because it will trigger something pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
That's a 13 you needed. This thing is howling and screaming and flailing around, and there are bits of this that are falling off, like collapsing, like a campfire falling, apart across the yard. As it staggers back, it's leaving these flaming, sap-filled footprints, and it moves its way over. So it is leaning now back, sort of on a rickety basis, right next to the bonfire. Top of the round. What would you like to do?
You said it's on top of the bonfire?
It's teetering next to it.
Oh, okay. I'm going to charge and use my shield and try to bash him into the bonfire.
Awesome. Okay. Go ahead and I think I'm just going to make you make an athletics check here.
Okay. I will use my momentum, and you can have 2 dooms.
Okay. I can't spend it on his. My doom pool is currently empty.
1, 2, 3, 4 successes with no training.
4 successes. That's awesome. I'm going to roll for him. Jesus, I rolled a complication. Okay, so you go ahead and roll damage on your shield, because I just want to see if we trigger the knockdown effect.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Is it counted as melee?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I can reroll this one. No, so it's just 1 damage from the shield.
Okay, which means you can trigger. Isn't it 2 momentum to knock someone down? Disarm. Oh, that's the disarm. You know what? That's fine. You beat him in athletics, so you've knocked this guy, this thing, into the bonfire, and it just starts fucking thrashing around, and it's really all it manages to do is to dig itself further down into the heap of burning logs. That scream that it lets out is, again, a sound that will haunt your dreams for the end of your mortal days. But when it finally dies down, all you can hear is the soft sound of Lady Octavia weeping, and Brother Castus, now his voice emboldened, crying out to Mitra. So that seems a pretty appropriate Conan way to end that session. So why don't we... Yeah, so I think that is where we will end the adventure of the devils in the woods. So Jeff, for next time, first off, you're going to gain. I think you're going to gain 200 XP for that, because that's what I gave the guys for Friday session. You know what? I'm going to give you 300 because it was long. This was a longer session and we got the whole thing done. So you get 300 more XP for that. And yeah, and I think just as for your edification, player-wise, I had two purposes for running this thing tonight. Was one, to give you a cool kind of done-in-one, story for Sir Quintus, but also to help flesh out a little bit more about him. That's that whole scene with Lady Octavia.
Yeah, that's what I figured you were doing.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So awesome. So for those listening at home, thanks so much for joining us for this episode of the Live from the Sword Coast podcast. We hope you enjoyed. We will be back again not next Friday, 2 Fridays from now, to continue on the Thunder at Midnight. So we hope you'll join us again then. See you until next time.